It's the question that every spiritual entrepreneur has on their mind, and that is, what does my business, what does my marketing need to look like in 2022? How do I make the most impact? How do I get out there and really stand out in a way that feels aligned, that feels authentic? And it's funny these days, it's a blessing and it's a curse that we have so many options of building an audience, of marketing, of selling, whether it be podcast, YouTube, TikTok, building Facebook groups, Instagram, all of the good stuff. What is it that you need to focus on most? This is what we focus on here. The funny thing is, have you ever tried something that you just thought, you know what, I'll put it out there, it'll be fun, it'll be something of an experiment, and then it blew up, or it did really well? Or have you tried something like a tactic, tool, and strategy that everyone's doing, and all of a sudden it didn't work? You got to think, why is that? Because there's more to marketing than just tactics, tools, and strategies. There's your intent, there's your energy, there's your alignment. And as you heighten in consciousness, these things become more and more important. So what I thought I'd do is, I gathered a bunch of spiritual entrepreneurs from the serving circle, and what we started to talk about and discuss was, what did our marketing efforts look like in 2021? What worked? What didn't work? What are the lessons we learned? And what does that mean now for 2022? So what you're going to get in this episode is a lot of brainstorming, a lot of different ideas that are going to get you thinking of what matters most in 2022 and what is it that you can do as tests and tweaks for your own marketing. So what you're going to learn most in here. One, you're going to learn what matters most. What matters most when it comes to marketing and what makes it successful. Two, how to stand out. How to make yourself different. How to stand out above the rest. And three, how to enjoy it. How to have some fun. How to really feel aligned, feel engaged, and definitely enjoy the process. It says it's here and in the serving circle, where you help elevate consciousness through spiritual business success. So if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, be sure to subscribe, enjoy the content, support the content, and of course I'll see you in the serving circle on Facebook, where you can start collaborating with your soul tribe. Let's dive in. Yeah, I was thinking about doing this as soon as we had that call, the collaborative call, and I'm thinking at the start, I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of people throughout this whole year of 2021 who have done a lot of new ideas, a lot of different strategies, tools, tactics on social media, and it can get overwhelming for people when they're saying, okay, I want to generate more leads, I want to grow my business, but everything's changing. How do I be different? How do I stand out? So I think having a discussion of what people have tried, ways in which they've generated leads, what's worked, what's not worked, will allow for 2022 for to get your brain going about what would be exciting for you. So how about we type in the chat just quickly, what are some ways in which you have generated leads this year, whether it be through posting on social media, Facebook groups, podcasts, emails, collaboration, speaking opportunities, right? What are some ways, if you guys could have a type in there, what are some ways in which you were able to generate leads, generate some collaboration, some clients? What was it that was fun, exciting, what worked, what didn't work? Put everything in the chat. We'll start to get some things going. So Chris obviously said a very one that was pretty impactful, and I think I like this because it's unique, but it's also very authentic, and it's pretty cool. But sending people birthday wishes, I love this because it's using social media in a way where you use it, it doesn't use you. And social media on Facebook gives you the birthdays of everyone, so it gives you reminders and it gives you a list. So it's a good way to farm through your contacts in a way that's very authentic by sending personal messages and wishing them a happy birthday, right? And so I know Wendy Corner sings to people. She sends them a voice memo and sings them happy birthday and then ask an impactful question. And I think it's so unique, it's so special, it really is a great way to keep the conversation going moving forward, and to have this authentic connection, so that you're top of mind for people, but also at the very least you're just wishing them an awesome birthday, right? And so it's not necessarily having any attachment to the outcome, but it's going through this, just a simple process of keeping connections going, right? So we say here, with it, I'll call to you in a second, Chris. But Jess said, did a summit, and said by repurposing and reposting old posts that had good responses. Cool. Speaking and held a virtual class. Awesome. Who here, by show of hands, who here does some sort of social media videos, posts, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram? Okay, cool. Awesome. So Chris, what do you have as some tips, advice? What have you found that works when it comes to sending people personal messages around their birthdays?
I wish them I put happy birthday. I put their name in there, because then it's not just genetic or generic. It's actually going from each person and putting their name in there, comma, have a great day. Mm-hmm. And, a couple exclamation marks. And if they're having a bad day, it can make it a good day. If they're not thinking that they're not noticed, all of a sudden they're seen. And so I get so many compliments from it, because it's so simple and it's so authentic and it's so real, that people they thanked me, because they said it's good to see somebody is just simple in Facebook. And there was no resistance to it. There was no push, no pitch, no nothing to it. Just a simple happy birthday. And if you can keep it simple, this is the gist I'm getting from you and your stuff too, is if you keep it simple and authentic, it's going to mean a lot. Because I just spoke in my masterclass today about this. I'm not a big fan of apps, and there's so many people going to apps and creating apps and doing all this stuff on apps, but it loses the human involvement. It totally omits the emotions, because if you're so busy scheduling your day, reminding yourself that you have to thank people each day, what happens if you lose your journal? What happens if your app goes down and goes away? If you're not doing this authentically from you, you're going to be lost. So I'm a fan of doing it for yourself the best way you can, whether you have a daily planner, whatever you do, set up your day to fit your schedule, and be flexible with your schedule. So if people cancel, you can do other things. And when you do it authentically, and I think that's the key, that's the biggest thing I have found, is doing simple. It doesn't have to be over the moon or I got the best thing in the world. No, I have some great stuff, but it's great that works for me. I can share it. It's up to you and to incorporate it. So you don't do a push. You don't keep pushing that door. It's like being the gate in a Kentucky Derby at that horse, and just like open the gate. You push it away. So you want to do it non-resistance.
Great. Yeah, I think because a lot of you who did the that Lead with Heart group project we did, and obviously you mentioned, Chris, that all of that's up on my podcast and YouTube for everyone to view now. The big thing that I was honing in on is personal messages, and that's sort of how I've built the Serving Circle and found a lot of momentum with the Serving Circle, a lot of momentum with my business, is always sending personal messages. And this is why I highlight the importance of your energy, is because I send personal messages not from the intent, mean to an ends of, okay, clients, leads, income, this is what I need, and so I need to send out this many personal messages. I do it, I can guarantee, before I send any personal message to someone, I breathe and I feel this person is me, right? We are all connected. There's nothing separating me from them. I see us as one, I see us as connected, and then I send the message from that place. And I think when you do that, there's no, there's the energy of, I'm doing this for the sole purpose of connecting with someone who I love, connecting with someone who I want to connect with, who my soul's calling me to. And it's a bigger purpose and a bigger energy than, hey, I need leads and I need clients to generate the income to support myself. And I've been supporting myself full time for 2 years now doing this and growing my business. And I think I think it's because of that energy of is bigger than income, it's bigger than business. And is there anything you talk to there, Chris, in terms of the energy or the intent in which you send the messages?
Well, when I send out messages, I'm always about love and light, because that's just where my center is. And one of my biggest lessons I learned this year, it was that I can't save everybody, no matter how hard I try. I can't save them from themselves, even though they might be a friend. And I just had to recommend to a friend that they seek out AA and counseling, because they're stuck in that victimhood. And it's always somebody else's problem. And then they're drinking so that they can numb the feelings that they're having, but they don't want to recognize there's the problem. So I did it very softly. And she came out, she goes, I have to tell you, I've been drinking a lot. And I says, you're drinking to numb your feelings. That's alcoholism. Whether you want to believe it or not, reach out. And in her state, they have free counseling for the citizens of their state. Reach out. If you really are truly looking for answers, you have to take that step. And so I ended my coaching sessions with her. And of course, now all the venom that she holds is coming out. And I just keep sending her light and love, no matter what it is. I see it unconditional. When you can forgive the man that murdered your brother, I would have a different reaction today than I would have at 20. But I'm not holding that anger inside of me to consume me with the anger. I let it go to know that was eating me up more than it was him. So I left it up, and as somebody said earlier, I surrendered it to the universe a long, long time ago. And it was one of the best things I could have ever done. So if you're feeling lonely, surrender it. If you're feeling inadequate, surrender it. If you're feeling that you're not enough and you can't do it, surrender it, is my best advice. And come into that love of your heart, because the best relationship you have with anyone starts with you to you. Beautiful. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's basically where I come from. Some days I'm human. Yes, I can curse worse than a sailor. I'm absolutely about that. But the fact is I learn content and context and when to use it and when not to use it. And hopefully, I don't like to adult, but I have to adult in life. And so, I like to be in that inner child most of the time if I can.
Awesome. Does anyone else have anything they want to add when it comes to personal messages, whether you've received personal messages that were off-putting or that were really engaging, or whether you send some people personal messages? Trish.
Oh, I think Hans might have had his hand up too. I did the real hand. He did the virtual hand.
We'll get to him. All
right. Okay. Yeah, I got to say there's some people that just do the reach out, and, my thing is, as a general proposition, I pretty much just unfollow them. There's just something about the energy of that intention. And it's like, I'm not here to be your target. And it very much feels that way. So, I don't ever want to be creating that same, people don't understand how much energy is in the intention, right? So that intention is super, super important. So even if you're not coaching the words in a way, like even if you're coaching the words, the right words, the thing that people don't understand, well, most of these people in this room will understand, but it's not about the words, it's about the energy. So you can coach the perfect words that don't look like a pitch, but if the intention has desperation written all over it from an energetic point of view, people feel that, right? And so you can't, if you're in that desperate space, that's not the day to be putting out your pitches or your connections. We'll call it that, right? That's not the day. I would take another day, or I would go and get into a different energetic space. You need to do something. I mean, you said it, Tyson, you said, I take a moment, I just get into the space, I hold them in love, and then I'll send out whatever my communication is. I cannot reiterate how important that is, because, when you send it out, even if it's the perfect words, even if you've taken it from somebody else who made you feel good with their pitch, if your energy behind it is about, oh my God, I need this sale, you totally just screwed the pooch.
I think it used to be like we used to get to at a lower level consciousness, it used to be in our expansion to follow tactics, tools, and strategies. It used to be, hey, you learn this tactic, whether it be email marketing, whether it be direct outreach, whether it be collaborations, we learn certain things, and it was in our expansion where we go to a workshop, we learn it, and then we apply it, and then we get the outcome. And now I feel, especially with the spiritual community, we're developing a deeper level of consciousness where it goes beyond strategy. Who and what you are is beyond the strategy. And that's why you can learn a particular strategy, but if it's not exciting and if it's not coming from the energy of abundance or collective consciousness, more unity consciousness, then it might not work. It'll be in your expansion for life to teach you, hey, who and what you are is so much more than the particular strategy. It's the intent and the energy in which you come from. That's why many people have Facebook groups, right? That may not be very engaging, but everyone said, hey, do a Facebook group. You have to do Facebook groups. But there are some Facebook groups that are thriving, and there are some Facebook groups that aren't. There are some podcasts that are thriving, some that aren't. There are some collaborations that fall through and some that skyrocket, and so it's not necessarily the particular tactic, but it's the excitement, the enthusiasm, the resourceful energy you add to it, and then also the energy in which you're coming from. Is it coming from a place of love and unity, or is it coming from a place of scarcity, fear, and I need to achieve this thing to feel successful, I need to achieve this thing for me to feel safe, I need to achieve this thing for me to feel loved? People can feel that. And especially I know some people have messaged me saying, hey, I do a lot of personal messages and I get my VA to send them out, and that's not working. And it's very, very hard to have the loving energy behind it if you use a bot or if you use a VA to send them for you. I mean, these days people feel it. They can definitely feel that, and you can feel it too. So is there anything you'd add there, Trish? I'd love to go to Hans if he has anything as well. I know a couple of you guys have.
Yeah. The only thing that I'll add super quick is I've taken a lot of courses, and, because I had to get myself back into the game, right? I've been out of it for quite a while. So I took a lot of courses this year, and what I found is that I'm not going to do any of them. Okay. Other than pretty much some of the stuff from you, Tyson. And in fact, I'm going to be doing a live on Instagram on this, where I'm just going to tell people flat out, here's the thing. I'm not going to do a FOMO with you. I'm not going to not make my videos available after 24 hours after my launch. I'm not going to play these mental games with you. You either want what I have or you don't. It's super simple. And that's the strategy that I'm going to use, because it doesn't feel good for me to do that. Mm-hmm. So I get that all the big names are doing it, and I get they're making millions of dollars. But honestly, if I have to do that and I have to sell my soul to do it, I ain't interested. There you go. Mm. So, so for me, it's going to be about doing what feels good for me. And if it doesn't, I honestly do have to put 100% of not my faith, my absolute trust in knowing that it's going to attract the people who actually want to work with me, not the people that I've manipulated into it. And I'm not saying that people who do all of that is manipulation. What I'm saying is, for me, it feels like manipulation, and I'm not okay with that. So that's how I'm not going to operate. That doesn't mean that those strategies are manipulative by nature. It just means they don't feel good for me.
Mm. And one thing I'll add there as well, a shout out to Dawn Pensack as well. She, when we were on a call, she told me a couple of things, and I was explaining how we still need to. There's still some truths here where we need to stand out. We do need to stand out. We need to be recognized. Now, how we stand out is different. How we stand out has changed. And one of the things that she said straight up highlights this. And as she was sharing this, I was getting goosebumps, and she was thrilled and excited. She shared that she put out an email, and a person reached out because of that email. She wanted to be part of Dawn's her membership. Now, what that person said was, oh my God, I felt the energy of this email. And I felt the energy of you because you were asking people to be part of the membership, and I could feel it had no attachment to it. I feel there was no attachment to if I said yes or no. And that's what makes me reach out to say, hey, I align with your vibration. How do I be more a part of it? Now think of that. it's almost like now, because you're not attached to the outcome and you're not using the strategy from a place of fear and scarcity, that it's now starting to attract and align people. Like, you guys can feel the serving circle is a safe space. It's a safe space where you can feel the love. Like, that's not a tactic. That's not a strategy. Although the strategy, it is built on a strategy using Facebook groups and using Zoom and doing collaborative calls. The energy is different. And that's the energy that they felt in her, because Dawn's obviously doing a lot of the inner work, healing a lot of patterns, and doing it consistently, meditating, right? Hours at a time. And when you heal those patterns, the way in which you use your strategies is different. The energy you bring is different. So Hans, is there anything else you wanted to add? I know you had your hand raised before.
Yes, I mean, everything that's been shared here is absolutely awesome, and therein lies the crux, is not to have the intention of the sale sabotage the message. One thing I would say is that we would do well to embrace the power of the story. This is what Carla Cherry talks about. Is to have people, and who was it today? It was Elvira who mentioned, and immediately, you know, she said something about pharmaceutical sales, which triggered with me because that's my background. So if we can share a story that resonates with other people, we immediately have the connection. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that have that have solutions for our problems, although we don't want to be told. You know, I always joke, on the golf course, if you give unsolicited advice, you can assess yourself a 2-stroke penalty. Likewise, in the golf course of life, if you give unsolicited advice, assess yourself a 2-stroke penalty, or you will be assessed it anyway, because people do not want advice. They want to get to where they go on their own. But one thing that is really, really powerful, and I would encourage you all to play with it, is something I learned from a guy out of London who learned it from his coach, and it's the following strategy. We all know, yeah, the four steps. We all know the problem is, the solution is, the result. Phrase your story around those 4 items, or your power offer, or whatever you want to call it, your engagement around those 2 things. And then I tell people, you start treating me like a widget on your conveyor belt of sales, you're dead, you're gone. And because really, it's not know, like, and trust. It is trust, like, and know. So the only way you can trust someone is if you take the time, which is really our most precious asset, to build a relationship. If you don't care about people, go write code for Apple or Google. But if you care about people, learn, maybe even spend some time in the hospitality industry where I grew up, so you know how to deal with people. And what else should I say? So stand out. You know, I always joke, I'm too old to compete in a business on charisma and price. I have no charisma. And chasing the lowest possible price is really a hard road to hoe. And also, the danger is, if you're not differentiated, the Me Too conversation has you in an area where you're bad-mouthing the competition, and there's no upside to that. So that would be my, that would be my piece of advice. And then, you know, what Carlos also told me is your story. Nobody can deny. Feel your story into it. The birthday wishes I used to do every single day. Now I've got 2,000 friends, and it becomes more of a chore. But if you haven't on your iPad or your iPhone or your whatever Google phone discovered text completion, I would definitely reach out to me, because that is one life-saving and time-saving. And I think Trish agreed with that. It's an awesome way to get the message out as well. So anyway, thank you for letting me share, Tyson.
Cool, no problem. Just quickly, for those who don't know, what's the text completion?
So on the iPhone, you go to general, you go to
Everyone's getting out their phones. Give them,
so
give
you
them a
go
second.
you go to your system settings, you go down to general, then you go to keyboard, and you pull up text replacement. And you can add a phrase and make a shortcut for it. If you're on the Apple platform, the cool thing about that is that while it turns up on your phone, it will also turn up on every other Apple device that you have. So I can now, for instance, I can share, I'll put this right now, I have a shortcut for THNP that is a shortcut for that phrase. So I just type THNP and it will come up for me to select that. So when you're running, like I'd run at the end of the year, I always run a food, well, every end of the month, I always run a food drive. So I have my food drive questions. And also one other thing, ASK is an acronym for ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, and knock and it will be opened unto you. So the most powerful thing that we can do is ask permission. Would you be okay with? That's a powerful question.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Some key tips there. One thing I got from that is that I don't need any more penalties on my golf strokes. That's not welcome at all.
Tyson, you know I coach golf for the kids in high school, right?
I'm in.
Okay. But I wanted to say something that everybody, Tyson sends out this inner circle package. Please go through it with a fine tooth comb. And the reason being, he has this book listed, 100 Million Offers by Alex Horowitz is on that. That's where we found it. My daughter actually found it. And she's like, Mom, you got to get this book. So I did. And if you do, I'm audio and visual. I'm one of those rare individuals. I do better if I see it and read it. And this guy makes $120 million a year, and he's giving out free courses on his website that you can go with the book through the videos and understand the marketing. And from him, and because of Tyson, the other thing I implemented in my life was a 1-minute meditation after I do I forgive you, you forgive me, brings love, peace, and harmony. And then I sit in quiet for 2 minutes. And in that 2 minutes brings up things. But between this book and Tyson, I was like, when I grew up, I always thought I wanted to make sure everybody who couldn't afford things were able to get what the high price people paid so that they could be able to make a difference in their life. And I made a lot of my programs really inexpensive. And so I became successful at that. And at the same time, he, in his book and in his videos, he talks about a bottle of wine. And all they did was replace the label on the wine. It was the same wine. They just changed the label on the wine. One was $57, one was $87, one was $150. And people valued $150 more because it has to be better because it costs more, is the mindset. So I reflected on me and my prices in my group and what I do. I put the link in the thing. So if you change, thank you, Jenny. If you save the chat, it's in there, and it's 100 million and it's offers. It's a workbook and absolutely worth but that, again, the package, and with me being an auditor in a jail, I nitpick everything to death. And so, but Tyson has created a package when you come in, and it's that starter package. You go through it because there's so much information there that you might miss. And this book is amazing. So again, Tyson, just kudos to you. So.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I don't know where you got the book, but I mean, I'll take it.
I got it on Amazon, but it was listed on your page in your packet.
Oh, there you go.
As a book recommended.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Well, there you go. No, but well, one thing that I always ask myself the question is how can you be different? How can you add more value? And so that welcome pack is there. It's I thought, you know what, I can make it feel like when you join, I want to have so much value up front that it solidifies the feel of the community, and the feel of the community is one of love, it's one of abundance, and it's one we're all working together. So I thought, hey, I need to take my own advice and need to make that happen, and then also reach out to my friend Trish, who's going to help me. And it was it's just I'm always asking myself those questions, and that's something we can always ask ourselves. Is the tactics and tools and strategies are always there. It's just, how do you want to use it in a way that feels aligned, in a way that feels authentic, and in a way that's creative, so that you're adding value that no one else is. I think that's really, really special. I see Katana and Barbie have their hand raised. Katana, is anything you want to add here in terms of what's been working for you? What have you done this year that's really that's worked, that could be helpful? Or is there anything else you want to add to the conversation we're having now?
I was gonna add to the conversation that we're having now. Particularly, I mean, I can echo the intent with which you send messages, and just making people feel seen by using their name and keeping it, you know, from the heart, like you would want to receive it. How you receive and how you send are equal, in my opinion. And standing out, as long as you're coming from a heart-centered place, being authentically and unapologetically yourself, I think is the best way to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the shiny object syndrome is so easy to get caught up in, when really people just want you. You know, if what you have to offer is what resonates with them, they're going to come to you. They really are. And I really enjoy talking with people and helping them find the best fit where they go, and so that's the disattachment to that outcome. And I find that that's been working really well too. It's just that place of getting people help, and it doesn't matter where it's coming from, it's what's best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a great point when you're asking yourself the question of, oh, what can I do for my outreach? How can I send personal messages? How can I set myself out that's different? Ask yourself the question of, well, when have you been inspired by that by others? What messages have you received that you could really feel their intent? Or what ideas have other people given you that has been inspiring, that's unique, that's special, that's different? You know, how is it that they may be doing their Facebook group? How is it they may be doing their podcast? And how might you be able to take on that energy where you can apply it in your own business to allow you to stand out and show more and more of your authentic self? Because the one way to be unique is to just be you, right? Everyone else is taken. But you are who and what you are is so unique, so perfect in all of your quirky ways, that if that's what's leading the way, then people will feel that, and they can't get you anywhere else. Awesome, Katana. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that it's just it's been I've been going through a lot of those same transformations that have been spoken about tonight, and it really is about as it was best put, you know, sit with your shit and move through it. just do it.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it. It really is. So thank you.
My pleasure. Barbara, what would you like to add? You had your hand raised. Is there anything you want to add in terms of your experience or your tips around this?
Yes, like I really love the three sessions with you, like the way you approached it and we exchanged it. And then when I reached out to the people in the group, I had this positive experience I've mentioned before. And one of the other ladies mentioned it earlier on too. You don't have to pitch if you're heart centered. If your intent is to help people, then that is really, like you said, there's only one you. And I think that is the most helpful. If you are in yourself, deeply rooted and you know I have something special to offer that's just me, which is embedded in your life story that Hans mentioned, then I think that is the best way to go.
Awesome. Beautiful. Now, how have you found implementing that? When you start implementing and reaching out to people, what came up for you? Were there fears and doubts and confusion that came up, or was it more excitement? Was it all of the above? What sort of happened with you as you implemented it?
It was really excitement, a lot of positive feedback because like was mentioned before too by Trish, the energy, you can just feel it, you know? It's like you said, you can study. I've attended also many courses and classes, but um inside you feel whether it sits right with yourself, you know, just like you know when things are odd for you. And so it was utterly positive when you really know I have something I want to help people with, then it's a no-brainer, and then it's just positive, and you learn so much, you grow through every conversation you have with the people too, you know, like what are you doing, wow, that's exciting, what's your focus, what's your background. And I think that makes you a better person as well, you know, with every connection you grow, and it enriches my life, and that's an awesome opportunity, so it's really very positive.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I love what Trish was saying before when saying the strategies that you've learned. You're like, you know what? I'm not going to implement any of them. I'm not going to implement any of them. I'm just going to do it in a way that feels a calling for me, even if no one else is doing it. And I think that's really what's in our expansion now. If you're while you do something, and even if it is feeding off some other tools and tactics and strategies, implementing it in a way that no one else has before, in a way that's exciting, to me feels expansive. To me, it feels like my heart's leaping me in a way that says, you need to trust, you need to have this, this not only divine trust, but you need to take the leap in a way that you know you're okay, no matter what happens. And people can feel that. People can feel that you're taking not only a risk in being different, but in a way that you're willing to add value in a way that no one else is. So it might get to the point where all of a sudden everyone's sending birthday messages, and then to stand out, you might need to do something different, right? So, when I'm thinking about the serving circle, I'm thinking, okay, what is it from the feedback I've got? What is it that's unique about this community? And the number one thing everyone always says is the energy. It's the energy of it. I'm like, okay, how do I double down on that and harness that so people consistently get the value when they join the collaborative calls, when they join, some of the bonus coachings or some of the events and these things? How is it that I can use that community to harness that energy while giving everyone space to collaborate, space to promote themselves, in a way that's unique? And that's what everyone says. They're like, oh, how many times on the collaborative call have you heard someone say, oh, I've been to so many networking events and this is just different for some reason, right? So I listen to that and I say, okay, that's what makes this different. Let's hone in on that. And so now when a lot of people join, I'm actually pretty selective with who I invite in. I make sure I connect with them, I send them a message, and I make sure that they're energetically a fit. So I don't care too much about the expansion of numbers. I care about the harnessing of the energy. And so when you're implementing your strategies, what's that thing about your marketing, your message, your videos, your webinars, your something, all of that's great. How is it different? How is it something that's going to stand out, be unique, and show more of your authentic self, right? So more and more of who and what you really are. That's what will allow you to not only stand out, but like what you said, attract the people that are wanting to align with you. Very cool. Who's got some other advice, tips, lessons, guidance? What are some things that you've tried this year that have worked, some things that haven't worked, maybe some things you've seen that were off-putting, some things you've seen that were creative, some things that you've seen that were inspiring? Anyone else got any other ideas, anything they want to share? These are all good. You're filled with too many
No, I think,
ideas.
Tyson, I think if they start watching those videos of yours, effective leads generation,
Mhm.
it's going to open up that question. It's going to open up that mind, and all of a sudden it's going to click. And I think, for me, I've never advertised. I started advertising on LinkedIn. I had a doctor connect with me and wants to do a discovery call for a joint venture for my hypnotherapy. So the fact is it was just a simple background. I just put on there, are you ready to get rid of your bad behaviors? And if I could help you get rid of them, what would it be worth? And then I put my link, and that was very simple, but it was very honest and very true. And it was my words from me and my intention. And what the one places that I can do joint ventures is with doctors, because there's people who want to quit smoking. There's people who want to empower themselves better, and they just don't know what to do, or lose weight and they just don't know what to do, and they're at their wit's end. So by just doing simple, just by doing authentic, like everybody said, put out your energy in the most purest form of light and love, it's going to be felt. So you can make it a simple post, or you can, like I was telling Bodhi, I send it to their page. It's however they prefer it to be, or it'll say messenger. So then it goes to their messenger, and it's the respect of putting it in their messenger and not going to their page. And when you do it that way, they still reach out and they still like it, because not only are you doing what they asked, but you're also sending out a message wishing them a great day for their birthday. But you can also do it for anniversaries. You can also do it for one things that I do too is I'll go through my timeline, and if somebody's having a bad day, I will take the time and sending love and light to you for a better day, or love and light to you for what you're going through, or sending out prayers for healing, that you get clarity on whatever it is. Just something simple in there on their timeline, so that they know that they're friends with me, and I'm just reaching out to them and showing them that I care. Where you go and you sit and meditate, I meditate for a lot shorter time. I can't sit and close my mind and try to get an awareness. I'm putting on Peter Frampton and Alice Cooper, and I'm walking the neighborhood and just rocking it out. And that's where everything of mine comes up. But then I'm not ADHD or nothing like that, or at least I won't admit it in public, I think. But I just can't sit there, because in my life, when I was told that I had to sit and I had to keep everything bottled up, so I don't do that anymore. I get out, I walk it around, I do walking meditations, I'll do driving meditations, I do affirmations all day long on my phone, just to make sure I stay good with me. And communication is a key. I'm really, really big with everybody in my life that communication is key. If you're having a bad day, let me know. I might just say something stupid, and it could just make you laugh and change your whole mindset from that moment, or take you out of that. But it's whatever you think or feel you should do. But if you come from love, if you come from compassion, if you come from that true heart space, you're never going to offend anybody. You're never going to hurt anybody. And it's just going to be that frequency of love.
Beautiful.
But I think they should see your videos first, because it will help open a lot of things in their mind about what applies to them personally.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Anyone's listening, we'll get to you in a second, Natalie, as well. But anyone who's listening, the series is called Effective Lead. Let me have a look so I make sure it's right. Effective Lead Generation Strategies. Mm-hmm. Effective Lead Generation for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. Is the name. So there's 3 calls that are on the YouTube channel and on the podcast. So yeah, I'm glad that it was able to get a lot of energy going, a lot of creativity and resourcefulness with your lead generation, with your outreach. I think that's what people need most, is just the ability to create something that's aligned and that feels exciting for you. People feel that, rather than the energy of, I have to do this thing, mm-hmm. and I have to do the thing that I don't want to do, so that I get the leads necessary, so that I can make this money, so that I can feel safe. And it's that paradigm's falling apart more and more. It's becoming less and less of an option. All right. Natalie, is there anything else you want to add?
Who, me?
No, Natalie, sorry. We'll get to you as well, Chris. We're always happy to hear from you.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, just what you shared, I listened to that yesterday, and it it just kind of lift up a big cloud over my shoulder of just the word, just make it so simple to what to say. It was like a wall. Like I wanted to connect and I didn't know how to start with. And since reading that, I just feel like, wow, I can do this. And I also felt I've been meditating and guided meditation, that it healed me, and it's been keeping me in this art space. Whenever I don't do that, I know I go back to those old patterns and scarcity stuff. So I'm just so proud that I made this morning ritual to really come back all the different combination of guided meditation into one. And I feel like I'd love if it can serve you and giving you the link if you want it. And just tell me if that helps. That would really, like, I would just really feel amazing if I can participate. It's a 30-minute ritual that brings all the things that are key for me, I think, to really get into that center place, clearer chakra, and just just the best for me. And it really helped me to be here in the 50 minutes asking in the bathtub just to connect. So my guidance is clear on that. So yeah, so for me, it's to have the use of every morning this guided meditation to journal the 3 action that are sometimes not really, the mind is not knowing how, but it's through finishing this meditation, this audio, I felt called to really make that. And I made it in 45 minutes this morning reading it. It just all came true and so aligned. So that be my pleasure to offer that and to come into that heart space that, yes, we know about it, but it's sometimes it's hard just to tell ourselves. So if my voice can help you, I'd be really delighted.
Definitely, you can feel free if you want to post in the serving circle the Facebook group as well.
Yeah, okay.
I'll definitely, I'll go ahead and I'll approve that, because if anyone can, if it can help people get into the space, that they can have the energy where they're doing their marketing, their outreach and creative ideas, then yeah, and if it can help you as well for feedback and any guidance and insight, then happy to do it.
Great.
Awesome. Well, there are definitely some takeaways here and some cliff notes around just the main things to think about moving into the new year. If you're doing some things in a way that's aligned, doing some things in a way that feels good to you and that is exciting, so that when you're out there, like for example, I love the serving circle. I just love the ability to create things collectively, to come together with other people just to add value. And of course, the serving circle expansion, it helps me in my business as a byproduct. And every day I just wake up, put my feet on the floor. I'm like, how may I serve? How can I be of service? How can it feel aligned for me, aligned for everyone else? How can I create offers that feel in my expansion, that aid people? And a lot of people that jump into my programs, they're just like, thank you for this. Thank you for this offer. Thank you for doing what you do. And they find it exciting. They find it a no-brainer. And same with the marketing piece. If I'm doing particular podcast episodes, if I'm doing things that are in the serving circle, it helps everyone. And it's in harmony and it's in alignment where it's my creativity, my heart, my authenticity. And I think anytime you can come from that energy moving forward in the new year, when you're doing your posts, content, webinars, events, collaboration, summits, whatever's coming about, there are just some really, really cool key tips here in terms of your energy, right? In terms of what to say and how to say it, and the creativity that's able to flow through when you're using it, so that you can stand out and so that you can give your ideal clients exactly what they need and exactly what they want in higher levels. As long as you're asking, how can I add more value, and how can I be more authentic, I think that's going to allow you to stand out in a way that's fun. Any last comments that we want to add? Anyone want to add to that, or anyone want to have any other shares before we finish up?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Trish says, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Seriously, I wish everybody so much magic for 2022.
I was putting a zipper on me. I wasn't going to say anything more. So I went like this. And then all of a sudden Trish goes, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. This is
Happy New
wonderful.
Year.
Thank you,
And
guys.
I just want to put out to everybody, no matter what it is, no matter what's been into your life, whatever you have done, let me tell you what, you can do anything. I'm here to tell you, no matter what it is, no matter how difficult it is, you can do it. Take one step at a time. Make 2022, fertilize it full of all the crap you can so that it blooms and grows for you. I'm just telling you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I put it PG version. Okay. I just want you to know.
Thanks for restricting yourself there. So I don't have, so I'd need to put the explicit tick on the podcast episode, which I'm all happy to do. But everyone here, message me on Facebook. Send me a personal message with a particular link you'd like to have in the description or the bio of where this is posted, so people can connect with you. And anyone who's listening, feel free to type in the comments, whatever it may be, whatever's below, anything about your links that you want people to connect. And let's start 2022 with a good ball of momentum with collaborations, new friends, new ideas, new ways of marketing ourselves. Now let's have a good Happy New Year, okay? Thanks so much, everyone. Take care.